Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Hello and welcome. It is the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Yeah,
yes,
baby.
Yes,
it is, baby.
Yes, it is for your Thursday. Got some emails going to get to coming up here in just a sec.
I kind of like what we're talking about. We don't have to go in depth to it, but just conspiracy theories and stuff like that. I'm so fascinated by all that stuff.
It was kind of the chat we had going on before we kicked into this puppy. Yeah.
And you're right. There's levels of conspiracy theories out there. Some are so crazy. There's that one that I think is the craziest one, that people in the government are reptilian people.
Yeah, and
there are people who believe it.
Lizard men?
Yes, they do believe it.
That's where I think, some of those things, they start to lose credibility because there's no proof to it at all. But, what we were talking about is an article that I had read about how we are hacked. Human beings are hacked, and that is the purpose of businesses, is to hack our minds and to hack our bodies mentally and physiologically. And they're doing that by creating things that our body will start to crave, like we were talking about sugar. And they've done brain research, and they'll give someone sugar, and they will look at the endorphins released in the brain. And it's a pleasure zone, and you're like,
I must have this.
Yes, and that's why we wind up having addictions and going back for things that ultimately are not good for us. And you're like going, why? This doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like the monkey. You ever know where they put the peanut in the jar and the monkey goes in, makes the fist, then he can't get his hand out of the jar, and the monkey's like, oh, and he's freaking out, and he's like going, you're like, dummy, just let go of the peanut. We're kind of the same way. That's basically what we are. We're the monkey, and the peanut is the drug that they put in the jar, and we want it so badly, and all you got to do, you have to let it go to get your hand out, but we can't.
Soda is a monkey on my back that I will go through rounds where I'm good. I'm not drinking any soda, and then I fall off the wag, and then I go on like a soda bender. I go ape shit.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of the chemicals, a lot of the sodium and things like that. They create that pleasure zone in your brain, and so it's a fix. It's similar to like a heroin.
It does. I'll drink some Coke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, there it is. That's what I needed.
Yeah.
I feel it.
And then they hack our minds because the way they set up our technology and our social media and all that kind of stuff, like I was talking about today earlier on the show when I was giving you kind of like those little brain things to show you how they've created those little puzzles that trick your brain.
Yeah.
Because they understand. That shows you how much they understand the patterns of the brain. And they're able to make those things based off of those studies. But like if you have a gap in a story, even if you don't give a crap about the story, I used to get caught up in soap operas my wife would watch. I'm like, that's awful. And then we do a cliffhanger. Like, well, I got to find out what happened. Why do I care?
You know what? I was driving into work today, and one of our competitors was doing something, and I had to get out of the car to go, well, shit, I want to know what happened. And I shouldn't have.
Yeah, well, there are things that we do. I mean, the teases that we use is to try to keep people to stick around through a commercial break or a song or whatever it is we do, because it means something for our business and for how they do ratings and all that kind of stuff. And so they do that kind of stuff. And social media sites and apps and everything else, everyone is vying for the biggest commodity that's out there. A lot of people think it's time. It's actually attention. Attention is the biggest thing you can get from somebody, and everyone is trying to get your attention. And so everyone's using every trick, mind hack, whatever possible to get your attention, because there's so many different options. And that's why it's whittled away at the human attention span. And we are now down to like 7 to 8 seconds, whereas a goldfish is at 10 seconds. So you can keep a goldfish's attention more than you can your average human that is in the industrial world.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm noticing too? If I'm watching TV and my attention for whatever reason, if I'm bored for 1 second, I feel like I need to go grab my computer and start looking at other shit. There's a feeling I can feel me like wanting to go do that. I don't like that.
There's a physiological byproduct of this brain hacking that I'm talking about. Have you ever, and you may not relate, Virginia, because you don't wear pants, but my phone is in my pocket. And if you keep your phone on your side and it's on vibrate like mine, you'll get the phantom ring. And I'm often patting my leg, checking, because I feel the vibration going off. And it's not vibrating and there's no call at all. There's nothing going on. My brain has been hacked because it's anticipating it. And when you go and check, when you get those updates and the things that you want to see, same thing. It's giving you the pleasure rush in your brain. They've been able to scan that. And they said, yes. So they understand what creates an endorphin rush through your social media, likes, shares, getting all that kind of stuff. That's why you keep going back and back to your social media, because it gives you that feeling of validation that we all as human beings need. And so they understand you better than you understand yourself.
So
and they create these for you.
How if someone is listening right now to this podcast and they're like, oh my gosh, they've got me by the balls.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to sugar.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to social media and my smartphone.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to all these things that are bad for me. How do I break the cycle?
That's a great question, and I have heard people go as far as doing those retreats. They'll put rules in their life. They have people that help them. If someone's on social, if you go on social media, you have a friend or a family member go, no, you told me to stop you from doing that. It's almost kind of like, you need a little support team, and that's why people love those retreats. They go out in nature, they just cleanse their whole body and soul of all that shit, and then the whole thing is when they get home, are they going to do the same stuff? Are they going to go back to their old ways or do the new stuff?
One of the most effective things that I've heard is life blocking. And it's not realistic to say, especially for what we do. I would love to stay off social media.
Amen.
I don't care about it. And honestly, you may say that. I really don't think I would have any social media if I didn't have this job.
I believe
Because you
that.
don't care about
No.
the stuff. I think I still would because I'm nosy and I like to see what everybody else
My
is
wife's
up
same
to,
way, yeah.
and I like to see who's doing that, and I'd like to check in on my family. You're kind of like whatever. I'd rather go do something. And
I like it for news. That's all I care about. And to get information like that. My wife is the same way. Boy, she doesn't have her own. She has not one social media account that's her own, but she goes onto my Facebook and she loves looking to everyone's lives. She just sits there all day long and scans Facebook and Instagram.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, she loves it.
There is a purpose for it. I mean, some people do just like to check up on people that are in other states. I mean, just the last 5 to 6 years, it's become a war on there.
It started at that, and then now they've really, mastered the hacking of it and got you in. But the time blocking is a little bit more of saying, okay, instead of saying I have an open window to social media anytime I want all day long, you block out a time for it. And whatever that time might be. And they say keep it away from right before your bedtime because that blue light will affect your level of sleep. So you've got to block it off and say no social media an hour to 90 minutes before you even try to go to bed. So whatever you set up, and my schedule is set up very much like that, where I have periods of what has got to be my high productivity. I got to do this, I got to do that. And the other part with the food thing, the blocking, they say is block off time to make your own food. When you cook at home, one, you save money, and two, you keep all the added crap out.
You know the ingredients.
Yeah.
If you're making a chicken dinner with veggies and rice, you know what's in it. If you go buy from the freezer section a chicken dinner with veggies and rice, you don't know what's in it. You can't pronounce half of that crap.
They got me. I mean,
They got you by the balls.
I eat so much stuff from. You always say, "Don't go in the middle of the store. Stay on the outside." That's the health. I'm never on the outside. The only time I'm on the outside is to get
to leave
Entenmann's. They keep Entenmann's on the side.
They keep Entenmann's on the side and the shitter.
But I was looking at half my meals. I'm like, even when I'm trying to eat healthy, I'm like, oh shit, that's frozen food. That's frozen food.
It's tough.
It is.
That's why I do I've done the food delivery service. It was in my price range of what I was paying, and it's relatively healthy stuff because it's not realistic.
I need to look into that
with my schedule in life.
I feel like just in the past couple of months, we've gotten really busy.
Yes.
Oh, we have.
I feel like even more busy than like early in the year. Like just in the past 4 or 5 months.
The fall usually is for us. It's beginning of school. The holidays are coming up. This is usually our busy time.
I remember at least in months past having 2 or 3 nights a week where I'd be able to cook at home and do stuff and make a meal with Mags and then eat that meal that night and then have leftovers for the next day. I mean, I am struggling trying to...
You're doing 9 wine events. Stop doing all these events.
I'm hammered and I'm struggling.
You're hammered and you're hungry.
Yeah, and I was reading something about that today as well, and we're not alone. And we may be different than a lot of people, but there are so many people, no matter what your field is, no matter what you do, where you're feeling the same kind of pull on your time. And the one thing they're saying is before you say yes to anything, you need to start using the power of no a lot more. You need to think about the worst case scenario and how long that's going to take. And, say for instance, and this isn't saying any event is bad, but I'll just use one that I've got coming up tonight and next week. Like tonight, I am going to be with my buddy Pastor Sean at Christ Fellowship doing Diesel. And, that was something where we had a pre-meeting.
That's some huffing thing? What's diesel?
No, it's a men's event.
Oh.
It's a men's only kind of like thing. And they got a speaker coming out and they do ha-ha men type stuff.
You talked about this.
Yeah.
Are you still getting on stage?
I'm getting on stage, yeah.
Are you the opening act?
Well, Sean and I are doing it. They're doing kind of like some game stuff with the guys, bringing them up on stage.
Okay, not any material of your own?
No, it's not like people are coming to me for the wisdom. They've got an actual speaker that's going to be coming in after that. But, for the first like 20 minutes, Sean and I are going to be doing games with, some of the guys and bringing them up on stage.
You should hop in there, Jay Bird, and go watch.
Maybe I should go and heckle. Hey, what's up, Kevin? No, I'm just kidding.
They've got amazing security there.
I believe it.
They would toss your ass.
Well, you wouldn't believe. I mean, at a church, they're totally prepared for that kind of stuff. And I know some of the stories just with Sean, and they get stuff where it's tough, and it's a church. You don't want to put on, like a bad airs. But they had like one woman one time that just walked up and they had a couch that was on the stage, and she got up on the stage and like laid there and was like, oh, and they're like, so you've got, so you've got
People
stuff like
do
that.
wig out in church. I've seen it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people.
What was she going for?
I don't know. I didn't hear the
Okay.
outcome of it, but imagine that. I mean, so they've got security and earpieces and people that are packing and all that kind of stuff. They're prepared for anything, those kind of things. But that's the challenge of because you got a lot of people that are at wit's end, and they're like. And that's what drives a lot of people back to church. Is
You're
they're
right.
like, I don't have an answer, and they go in and they're in there, and
Hey, sir!
I'm tired. I need to lay down.
Oh, you can't say that in
well,
church.
Dan, there's a couch, yeah. And so they go and lay down, and so they've got to come up and try to, in the best way possible, gently, remove them from that situation.
That's when you just take the whole sofa.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
Let her stay on it and just take the whole sofa
They've
outside.
had people come in and they want to cause an uproar, and they'll come up and like try to yell and be like, oh.
No, I don't want that Bible beat down.
Yeah, so they will take you out back and kick your ass in the name of Jesus.
And after they're done, they go, amen.
Hey guys, we don't have any audio. You got it? Okay, you're on it? Okay. I apologize. People were watching this saying there's no audio on KVJ TV.
No audio?
Yeah.
Well, damn it, it's a podcast.
Oh, this is some of our most mediocre material ever.
Oh, so you only get the video. Lucky you.
It's a silent movie of a bunch of bullshit.
A silent movie with not that good-looking people.
Who knows? It's working on YouTube. It's not working on this.
Ay, ay, ay.
I'll let them deal with it in
Denny!
You let them deal with it, Kevin. You do you.
there. That's why they're there.
You do
Yeah.
you, Diesel.
So anyway, I was just talking about that, and today I have had so many emails because we got the Wild Pants party, and I've had like several emails about that. We had a big conference call yesterday that was mandatory with the company, so I had to deal with emails with that and just everything else. And you're trying to keep everything straight. And the thing I hate is there's one more question that gets fired back in an email, and so you look, and I'm every day, all day. Through day and night, just checking, trying to answer, trying to stay on top of that stuff. And I just got to a couple Diesel emails, and it looks like I might have missed 2 dress rehearsals this week.
Oh.
And I'm like, here's the event tonight. So I got to text Sean and be like, hey, did I miss anything really important? Like, okay.
Radio Dick bringing everyone
well,
down.
this is my thing, and I was honored.
You've been bumped.
I was honored that they asked me, because they are so good at this church, because that's what they do is these kind of things. And boy, how they have everything
This is
run.
their job.
This is their
You've
job.
got another job.
Right, but they're so professional with everything, and I was so happy that they asked me for this, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. This
They're
is
like, we'll never ask him again.
I know, and
He
I'm like,
didn't
don't
show.
blow it. Like, don't, and I'm like, they probably think he's such a diva, and I'm
Oh,
like, I
yeah.
just had so
Like,
many emails.
Isn't that the prick that wanted to be an extra for Bloodline, but
Gosh.
left after they made him wait for 15
I
minutes?
know, and I really, I got in the emails, and I didn't have time to
I
read
see
it.
a theme.
I know.
Diva DJ.
It's stuff, honestly.
Diva Diesel.
The thing I was thinking, I need a personal assistant.
You do.
And-
I think all of us do for different reasons and in different ways. I would love to have I went to get that laser therapy on my stomach where I have a few little scars from my surgery just to blend in the pink scar. The Dr. Jill, was telling me she's got a personal assistant, but mostly what she uses her for is driving, because she drives her around, and while she's driving her, Dr. Jill is in the back seat answering emails, keeping up with her seminars, doing all the things that she has to do for her job. Driving is such a huge
Right.
chunk of my time.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want a driver.
No one told you to move an hour north. That's all I'm saying.
It's so safe up there.
It is safe.
I'm so paranoid of home invasion and a murderer.
Yeah, I couldn't live there because I couldn't take the time to drive back and forth.
Well, the doctor she recommended me to is in her area. It's right by her place, and I'm like, this is a nice doctor, but it was like an hour and a half up and back, baby.
It's tough. It's a haul to Tequesta.
And you're right. Your schedule, that's the one thing. My schedule fluctuates. If anything changes something or moves something back, then the whole day has to shift. And you're sitting there the entire time trying to be like, okay, I got to get this right, got to get that right this time to that time and that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, there's just a lot of details. And then on top of putting together a show, which there's a lot of details in putting together a 4.5-hour show every single day that you blow one detail and you're like, oh, crap.
Done.
We don't have mystery Oreos.
Shots fired. He's calling you out.
No, he's right. I didn't write it down. It was in an email. I have to write things down.
But that's an example of things that happen, in our day.
If I don't write them down,
Yeah.
out of my brain.
It's crazy. And then you're like, oh, crap.
I'll make them tonight.
Oh, that's all right.
You'll have them tomorrow.
Just giving you examples. But, that's kind of what
Don't
it
forget
is. So, yeah. So
I'll make yours extra special.
Blocking time is kind of like one of those things that you can do. And so I think the first thing is having the awareness of how these companies get you and how they might have you. And then you got to ask yourself, do I care enough? Am I okay that I'm their pawn? Some people are. Like
I'm just a sheep.
Jaber's like, screw it, I love sugar, so stay
I
a
love
pawn.
soda. I can't stop.
No, I mean, I do. I know people think I just put things in my body and I don't think about it, and I'm so cautious. I do think about stuff, and I talk about the stuff that I do that I know people, oh my gosh. I try to eat healthy sometimes. I really do. But you're right. The sugar and the soda, it's a monkey on my back, and I struggle with it. I really do. I love the way it tastes. I just love the whole thing. I can't eat a meal with water. That's so fucking gross to me.
I think a lot of it, too, is ingrained from your childhood.
Big time.
Because your mama loved it. Everybody in your family loved it. And if you grow up with sugar equals happiness, then you carry that into your adulthood.
Oh, we used to have it all does make sense. Growing up, we'd have snack parties. We'd have food parties. We'd play camp, and the whole thing was based on food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah, I get it.
That's what you got to do. You got to
deep.
recognize it and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do to try to hack it and beat it. So somebody texts in, Kevin's just being a diva. Have a Snickers bar.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you can't talk about what I talk about without sounding like a diva.
Kevin will have a Snickers bar. It's just the fun size.
And it's a bite. Because I went crazy this weekend. I had 2 bites of a Snickers. Bitch.
Well, and I recognize and I understand the power of sugar, but I still, and that's where I compartmentalize that too. I'm like, I still will have junk food and completely sugary foods because I love it.
The other night, I mean, it was about 10 o'clock at night, and I had 3.5 Krispy Kreme donuts, right before bed. That's not good.
I find that when I'm stressed out, tired, when I feel like the day has just beat me up, I reward myself with things that are bad for me.
Me too.
So it's the opposite of what I should be doing.
Yeah.
When you have a bad day, you should be able to sit back and go, oh, you know what? I had a really rough day. I'm going to just finish this off with some spinach and call it a night.
Well, the problem that we have is because the stress hormones that are released in your body want you to pleasure yourself, and going to the sugar, to the beer, to the alcohol,
easy fix.
whatever it is. Well, it's your own hormones are directing you in that. So, sometimes go easy on yourself because you think you're just making a weak-minded decision.
No.
But your body biologically is pushing you in that direction, making you try to feel hungry when you're actually not. And that's why the obesity rates just came out today are the worst in 40 years because you have more stress in your life. That's affecting your hormones. You know exactly what to do to make yourself feel better. You can go and pleasure yourself with that sugar or that alcohol.
I was very stressed out by going to the doctor, doing a bunch of stuff. I physically was having stress feeling. And the only thing I wanted to do when it was all kind of said and done, I felt exhausted. I got to go to fucking Camille's. I got to get a pizza. I got to eat it. I just got to be, man.
Yeah, your stress hormones do that.
I just want to eat and not make a decision and enjoy the moment.
Yeah, that's why you got to recognize that, and you got to, one, give yourself a little bit of a break, and two, try to find other ways to scratch that itch rather than going to the usual things are not a good way to get to it. So,
I mean, what's going to make you feel better at the end of the day? A pizza or some broccoli? Shit that with the broccoli, man.
I hear you. Let me see some of the emails that we got. Jessica said the Gen X versus millennial questions. I know it's a bit late, but I want to call Kevin out because most of the questions for the Gen Xers are definitely not millennial questions.
Oh.
I'm a millennial, and I asked a few millennial friends. By the way, we totally own the millennial label, and none of us knew the iCarly answer, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, or even the song question. Those questions are definitely more Generation Z questions that current teenagers, Gen Z, would know. I'm in my mid-20s, and those are very current, geared at Gen Z kids. And of Denny's writes the questions, but ultimately Kevin is the host and the boss, so it's up to him to make sure that everything is correct. Come on, Diet Pansy, get it together.
Damn, we got Denny's and the Diet Pansy being called out. Me and Virginia were innocent.
We skated by on this one.
She's right, though. I did notice some of the questions, they are skewed for a little bit younger, because those are questions they would know when they were 6, 7.
Well, I sent her where I got this from, and you're right. I'm not a millennial, so it is difficult. And even just the definitions I found of what the generation is are loose. And
When in doubt, blame your producer. It's Denny's.
yeah, no, and I sent back. I went to a Rolling Stone list, and it was 50 things millennials know that Gen Xers don't. And
But-
so all of my questions I geared from that. So Rolling Stone was saying, millennials know this. Millennials know that. So every question, just, to say, hey, I'm going to bring Rolling Stone in on this, rolling you over on the bus. That's where I got my questions from.
Yeah, Rolling Stone. They've messed up again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They killed Tom Petty. Sorry.
Screwed Rolling Stone. They're always too cool for the room. They
Yeah.
think what they say is gospel.
Yeah, so and I did, and I got bit again by another Rolling Stone thing. So I trusted that if all millennials know this, then I can ask a question about it, and I did, and now I got called out. So
It's okay.
there
Getting
you
called
go.
out's kind of fun. You
Yeah.
get used to it, actually.
Heidi sent an email and said, hey, bring back the stripping Shazam. So entertaining to listen to and watch because you hear the nerves ramping up with every song that you miss.
Agreed.
What is that again?
That was the one where you had to beat Shazam, and if you
Oh.
didn't, then you had to take off an article of clothing.
I will never, ever win.
I said we bring that back, and I definitely think Virginia leads it off. Good call.
Heidi says, I think you guys should draw cards for teams, though, and play 2 versus 2 with the other team deciding the articles of clothing to take off.
Okay, all right, not bad. 4 pairs of dongs in here.
I actually don't have a real dong.
That's right.
Candace sent an email and was talking about using a homeowner's bathroom if you're like a service technician.
Yeah.
I was very surprised on some of the answers I heard from y'all.
I just don't feel good about it, especially if he declares he's going to go, quote, blow it up.
Well, the thing was that even after we changed the scenario, I said, what if the guy just goes in the bathroom, he realizes he has to go poop, he's in there for 30 minutes. You're like, I don't know if I say something to him. And if I knew he was going to do that, I'd make him go down the street.
30 minutes? I mean, seriously, dude, I got things to do. If anybody makes me wait on them for 30 minutes, I'm pissed.
Candace said, I grew up with my father who loves a well-placed fart, and we are very open to fart and poop jokes. Crass, yes, but hilarious. Anyway, my dad was an inspector who would go into people's homes daily, and most of them were very high-end and ritzy, Virginia dream homes. And he would absolutely love to go into these fancy bathrooms and blow it up.
He wouldn't leave floaters, though, would he? Because that's the real fuck you to the rich.
No, but
He
he would
did?
just, no, he didn't say anything about floaters, but yeah.
He would blow him up?
He would go in there and just, let it loose. Not holding anything back.
So you think you should always ask if you're at someone else's house?
No, I think a service person should. I think a guest can poop in your house. A guest doesn't have to ever ask.
Okay, you have a cocktail party at your place, and
Yes.
you have 30 people there.
Yes.
Dude goes in there, blows it up. He's in there for 30 minutes. He's no obligation to tell you this.
Nope. He's an invited guest. They can poop away.
Interesting. It's
Somebody who's there as a service personnel, it's different. They're there to do a job and leave. They're not there for my hospitality. They're certainly not there for my TP.
But what about the human side of things? Things happen. Nature calls. People get stomach poopy cramps. You still make them go down the street?
I think it is one of those things of customer service where it's rude. I just believe that it is rude to be in somebody's house doing a service where they're paying for it, and now your whole house smells like his turd. That's not cool.
It's kind of personal. It leaves a little bit of a blemish.
Yeah.
So he's got to leave then. Go, I got to leave, ma'am. And he's got to drive.
I gotta leave and get something out of the truck, and I'll come back.
Everybody's got different patterns on this. If I were a service person, yeah, I would never. And if something happened where I had to really go and couldn't help myself, I'd be like, hey, I left a part back at the thing. I'm going to go grab it.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would not
I get
poop
out
at
of
another
there.
person's place. That would be. But I can see. I mean, it just sounds so cold to tell him he's got to go down the street.
I know it sounds cold, but I'm just thinking about it from like, okay, say I'm that dude's boss and I'm running like XYZ appliance company, and I know I have this delivery guy who, when he brings your washer machine, he likes to leave a big loaf and a big stink bomb. I mean, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt XYZ appliances.
You don't celebrate this type of thing. It's only for emergencies. I don't know. I think I got a cold stance on it.
He can make dookie in the yard.
On the fart tip, researchers at the University of Exeter have found that hydrogen sulfide, the nose-pinching scent that gives flatulence its rotten egg-like quality, can actually have potent health benefits in small doses.
Really?
They say farts could actually reduce the risk of cancer, heart attack, strokes, arthritis, and dementia.
How do you come up with that test? I mean, you obviously have to practice farting on people.
It reminds me of Family Guy. On one of the episodes, they said short people die faster because they're closer to farts.
Apparently, it's the exact opposite.
Interesting.
Shouldn't be the case. At least not of cancer, heart attack, strokes, arthritis, and dementia.
That's crazy. How do
So
they?
you could fart in somebody's face and be like going, I'm trying to help you.
I dare you.
I do that because I love you.
Denny's, get in here.
That doesn't
I
make
have
any
to fart.
sense. Come on, there's no way.
We want to help you, Denny's.
Got this email from Mandy. She's talking about the blindfold that Jaybird had on. I believe this was while we were doing one of our taste challenges that we had here.
Oh, yeah, it's a creepy blindfold. It's got eyes on it. So
Yeah.
even though your eyes are covered, it's still got eyes, and it's just really creepy.
Yeah, this is when we were doing the Baby Bird game, and Denny's was chewing up the delicious Halloween candies and then spitting it in Jaybird mouth, and he's trying to guess what the candy was.
He nailed
It's
it.
been weird. I've had a sore throat ever since I did that bit. I don't know. Maybe it's psychosomatic.
But she said your blindfold on your forehead got in a weird scrunchy like pattern. She said it looked like something. Can you tell, looking at the photo I'm holding up on KVJ TV?
I mean, it looks like a couple things, Kev. It looks like a hot dog bun. It also looks like a vagina.
She said vagina.
And it also looks like a big, like the bottom part of someone's mouth.
You are what you eat.
Wow.
Do you see vagina there?
I do see
Okay.
it.
All right.
A lot. Yeah. See it pretty good.
Said my coworkers thought I was dying, so Jaybird with a big old vagina on his forehead.
I'm not complaining.
What guy would?
Talking a little bit about the fake foods we were talking about, Oreos. Got this from Nick from Melbourne, who came down, dropped us off some beer and donuts.
Oh,
over the
yeah.
summer. Yeah.
That was nice.
He said, I agree, Oreos have gone downhill. The Peeps Oreos at Easter time just tasted like straight up chemicals. And he said, Breyer's ice cream used to be so great, and they used to talk about how natural they were. I remember when I was a kid, that was the big thing about Breyers.
You need to read the Breyers because not all of them are natural.
That's a great call. I had some Breyers not that long ago. I was trying to think of other items. Breyers is one that has gone down in quality.
Read the label because some of them still are milk, cream, sugar, eggs, but some of them are not. And there is a laundry list of chemicals in that Breyers.
Yeah, I think Bluebell's a little more natural, right? Is it not? Am I wrong
I've
with
never
that?
read a Bluebell label. I think I need to do that.
Good call, though, blowing up this Breyer scandal.
Yeah, he said next time you're in the freezer section, pay attention to the carton. It now says frozen dairy dessert instead of ice cream.
Yes.
Because there's got to be like some kind of regulations, from the
There's been a change.
FDA or
frozen
something
dairy.
like that,
if
yeah.
you buy the Breyers with like the Reese's in it, or the Breyers with any kind of like candy or special super duper flavor in it, those are the ones that are now frozen dairy dessert, not ice cream.
Cookies and cream as well, probably. Yeah, think about that.
Maybe you have to look, turn it around, and look on the back.
Talking a fun little food item, would you eat this? A restaurant in Australia is serving a new dessert, chocolate-flavored pasta covered in Nutella sauce.
Oh, shit, yeah, I would. Oh, my God.
Chocolate-flavored pasta
Oh,
covered
yeah.
in Nutella?
That could work.
I'm not gonna do it.
It could work.
I mean, it sounds like it could be yummy, but I don't like those. See, I like salty pasta and I like sweet chocolate, but I don't know if I want them on the same spoon.
I would love it, Kevin.
Okay.
I've been eating a lot of.
I would try it.
I've been eating a lot of Nutella pizza, and it is so good, man. I know. I can polish off one of them. It just goes down so quick. You look down.
Do you make it or somebody else makes
No,
it?
I order. It's it's the place at the Palm Beach Outlet Mall. I want to give them a shout out because they do
Cucina Pizza.
Yeah, it's really good, and
those guys are like Italian legit.
And it's not. You don't. It's shocking to see a place like that do delivery, and they do delivery.
They do,
and I get the Nutella pizza every fucking time.
The Little Smiles offices used to be right there, and I would always get their pizza for our meetings because it's really good.
It's one of those things where you eat it and you know you're full. And you're like, all right, I cannot eat anymore, and then you swallow, and 30 seconds goes by. You're like, shit, man, I can do one more of this. Yeah.
Super nice guys in there too.
I've heard good stuff. Pastor Sean goes there all the time. He loves. He says
it's
the best.
a cute little setup. I like how you can customize everything. You see it right there prepared in front of you. They've got a nice wine and beer selection as well, and the atmosphere is super comfortable.
I got into a confrontation with another customer there. Her and her daughter were up there, and I hate when people are such dicks to the people that work there. And they were complaining about, oh, look at the salad. It looks so great. I looked over there. The salad was fine. Then they complained about this. And then this is what really pissed me off. The guy addressed it. He fixed the problem. And it just wasn't good enough for her. And the guy was not being jerky. She goes, where's your manager at? I want to talk to your manager right now.
Oh,
Where is your manager? And I go, hey, lady, that salad looks fine. The problem's you. And she she looked at me. She could not believe somebody stood up to her.
Where's his manager?
She shut the fuck up, man.
Really?
She shut the fuck up. That everyone was looking at me.
Well, you're a regular guy. She can't boss you around.
Oh, I was in a really shitty mood, and I just didn't like the way she was talking. She was and then her daughter was chiming in.
Good for
with
you.
Little side notes. I didn't like it.
Good for you.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. You stood up for somebody.
Hero of the people.
Yeah.
J. Bird Pennington.
I've been in a few fights in lines like that.
I'm sure Virginia's going to hate this list from the website Wallet Hub. They came up with the best cities for foodies, and they went pretty deep. They went 150 cities.
Really?
They said they came up with the best cities for food lovers by factoring in diversity, affordability, accessibility, and quality of top restaurants, grocery stores, craft breweries, coffee houses, and food festivals.
Okay, I'm very intrigued by this.
They put Miami at number 5 on the list.
Wow.
Fort Lauderdale, number 30 on the list.
Okay.
Orlando is 6th. Tampa is 11th. Hialeah is 55th. Pembroke Pines, 111th. And even Port St. Lucie, 149th. West Palm Beach did not make the list of America's best foodie cities.
It's high prices here. I bet you that's why. If you go to a lot of other areas, you can get a lot more affordable food than the Palm Beaches.
Yeah, but it's Pembroke Pines, Port St. Lucie, Hialeah is on the list, Fort Lauderdale's on the list, Miami.
It's tricky because I haven't really examined the whole entire food scene. I've been to restaurants in those towns, but not really delved into the whole dichotomy of it.
They have got in the top 4 San Francisco, Portland, New York, and Los Angeles, with Miami number 5.
Well, I would agree with Portland. I've done the food scene in Portland. I took that whole entire day by myself to walk Portland, and they have amazing diversity and prices.
They've got New Orleans ranked 56th.
All right. I don't know how to feel about that.
Hialeah is 55th. I'm like, wait, what?
That's
you got Hialeah higher than New Orleans on this list? New Orleans is one of those cities, if you're a foodie, that's you would fly in. I would go to New Orleans. It's one of those cities when I go to, the first thing I think of is eating and drinking a close second.
Sure.
But how does that factor in as 56 and Hialeah beats it at 55th?
Maybe they thought that, all it is Cajun, Creole, seafood. Not
Maybe
enough
the diversity.
Diversity?
Yeah. Okay.
But
Sounds like a bunk stat to me, though.
I mean, in Hialeah, wouldn't it be mostly Hispanic food? Now you have, Cuban, Colombian,
yeah.
Puerto Rican. You have all the different
Hispanic, yeah.
Hispanic nationalities, but
I don't know.
That's
That's
interesting.
what they say. So there you go. All right, Jaybird John, and it's time to go.
No, it's not. I haven't been sleeping. I didn't mean to yawn. I'm so into everything.
You gotta go
boring
sleepy
you?
time.
No, I'm very tired.
oh, sorry. We'll try to make this better next day.
Well, I appreciate the effort, actually. Now that you bring it up, let's fucking step it up. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't mean to yawn. I got in trouble at school for yawning out loud. I am so sorry. I did it right in the microphone.
Like a bear.
All right, time to go.
I'm into it. I'm so sorry.
Time to go. All right, y'all have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.